Hey, how are you guys doing today? Today we're going to start the second project in the Weekend Woodworkers course. This one is the California Casual Patio Side Table. We built the workbench already, and we're going to be building this project on the workbench that we built. Sorry, Steve, but I can't drill into this top yet. I will do that at some point in time because we are supposed to abuse these workbenches, but we're going to build this project. We're going to start with the cut list. We needed 6 1x3 by 8 footers and 2 1x2 8 footers. So let's get cutting. Meet you over at the chop saw. Okay, we've set the stop block at 20 inches. We're going to cut the side pieces for the California table. Verifying the 20 inches. Right on. Let's get cutting. Cutting off the end of it so we get a nice flat edge. Okay, so we cut all of our 1x3s into the 20-inch sections. Now we are going to cut the 1x2s into the 20-inch sections. We're going to need 4 of those also. So let's get back to the saw and cut those 4. Now we're going to cut the 4 smaller ones, nip off the end again, and cut these down to 20 inches also. Here we're going to do the legs. You want us to do a little 45-degree angle at the bottom of the legs. So we'll be nipping off each corner. We'll set up the chop saw. We'll put the gauge over to 45 degrees. And we will move the stop block so it lines up perfect, and nip off the corners, flip it over and cut the other side. And we will do this with all of the legs. Now we're going to set up the legs and the side rails. Just made this little jig to hold everything in place while we screw them down. Keep everything nice and square. Countersink the screws so we can fill them with some putty later on and keep them concealed. I'm going to make a little spacer so we can keep the side rails exactly the same distance all the way around. And we will put a little bit of glue on there. And then go ahead and countersink some more holes and place a couple screws in there. And we'll just do this on the other side also. A little spacer keeps everything nice and square and exactly the same measurements. And now we have 2 of these done, and we will use these and use the other rails and hook them together. So then we'll have a square table. And here we've got them all hooked together. Now we're going to fill the screw holes with some putty. This is a very simple design, just straight boards. We'll fill these holes, fill them a little bit over, and then we can sand them down using the carpenter's wood filler. So now that we're done with that, I've got to measure the inside. We're going to put some little ledges on the inside so that the bottom boards will have something to sit on. All of this is going to be glued together. There will be no screws holding these bottom slats or the top slats together. So we're right at 15 inches. We're going to cut some boards to 15 inches to fit in there. They'll only be made out of the 1x boards. We're going to cut 2 of these, exactly 15 inches. And I will glue and screw those into place. So here it is screwed in. Now we're going to cut little pieces to fit on those leg areas. That way those boards that we put on the bottom shelf will sit in between there. They will be approximately 1.5 inches shorter than the other boards that we cut. So we'll glue these blocks in place and probably just put 1 screw to hold them in place. The glue is plenty strong. Okay, now we're going to cut the bottom slats 18.5 inches from side to side. We reset the stop block, and now we can cut these. We need 5 of these. The plan called for 6, but we actually only use 5 in his video, but I used 6 and just trimmed off 1/8 inch on each side. I got a nice smaller space between the bottom plates. Now we're going to cut the top boards. Move the stop block. These are a little bit longer. These are 24.5 inches. We're going to cut all those. And then we'll have one last angle to put on those. I think we had 8 of these on the top. With that stop block, it's very easy to make repetitive cuts. So we're going to put these bottom boards in and see how they fit. Because remember that little ledge that I have in there, I'm just going to glue these in place. I'm not going to put any screws. The glue will hold plenty strong. Looks good. I like that small gap. Now we've gone over the chop saw. We're going to cut the edges off of the top boards. That'll be facing down, so the top will be nice and flat, but we'll have a nice little angle. So we tilted the head of the saw to 45-degree angle, and we'll cut all of these boards. Got about a 1/8 inch reveal at the top. Now we're going to place these boards on top and line them up, see how they're going to fit. Got a nice little overhang on each end. Going to get them approximately where I want them. I want to get the spaces just right, so I'm going to cut little spacers to go inside, and then we'll glue it all in place. I don't want to have anything that looks cattywampus without correct spacing. So here are the bottom ones. I've glued those in. Basically put the glue on those rails, put all the slats back in place, and put on the clamps to hold them in place while the glue dried. Like I said, the glue is stronger than the actual wood itself, so they should not come out. And if I needed to, I could use Craig jig to put screws in from the bottom. Now on the top, we've put all the boards in place. Glue is in place. Spacers are in place. And I have all my clamps in place. So we will let this dry. And then I will sand it all down. And we will be finished with this table. Got that nice little reveal on both ends. Turned out really nice. And here we are, finally, after sanding and sanding and sanding. We finally finished the table. We sanded. I've got about 4 coats on here. I sanded, put this on. It's a water-based. After it dried, I sanded that down a little bit, put another coat on, sanded that down a little bit, put another coat on 4 times. Turned out really nice, real protective, nice cover. And you can see here's the top of the table. Whoops. I love that spacers that we put in gave us perfect spacing. And you can see the bottom shelf. We got nice smaller spaces in there. But it turned out great. Thanks for helping me build this. Let's build something together again. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out the other videos at the top. See you guys later. Bye-bye.